Hey everybody, welcome to Real Person Reviews. I'm Sam. I'm a real person, and today I want to talk to you all about Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo for the Nintendo 3DS. Say that 12 times fast. I'm not going to do it, but you guys should. Some stuff up front here, so in case there's any confusion, this is the same game as Animal Crossing New Leaf, but it's got extra content. There was a free update to it. Because I think the game came out in like 2013 or something, and then the update came out like 2016. So, yeah, it's a free update, so you can, anybody can get it. It added in a bunch of stuff. So if you hear it called like Animal Crossing Welcome Amiibo, or with the New Leaf, or just New Leaf, or the combination, or whatever, it's all the same shit. It's just, that's, in case you were confused. What else? Some things I think I also have to mention, like, this is my first Animal Crossing, and so I'm not really going to have the perspective of looking at this in the context of the series. This is just me trying to try it out and get into it and see how it is. And, that's, well, it's an interesting perspective to have, I suppose. Might not be the most informative, like some of the veterans are, so keep that in mind. Also, what the fuck else? There's no real end to this game, so I just played this for a few months. It's been a few months now, and the reason I'm kind of just stopping and pushing out this review probably is because there's no end, and, I'm pretty much done with it. So there's that. If you want to see a written review before, after, or instead of this video one, I've got that linked in the description, so you can check that out. Might be less rambly and shitty, because I'm very tired right now. But, oh well, if you're still here and want to hear me say things in your direction, enjoy. So Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo is basically like a life simulation sort of RPG, where I guess there's more of a premise than an actual story. You kind of make the story as you go along, I suppose. But the premise is that you go and you go to this new town. You make a character, you pick this vague town map area where you're going to go, and then you arrive there, and there's some miscommunication. They think that you're the new mayor there, and what a wacky situation, but I guess you're mayor now. But before you can do a bunch of mayory stuff, you have to go around and talk to everybody, because you need to get your approval rating up. So you're doing that, you're trying to get a house in the town still, which requires you taking out a loan and waiting for them to build the fucking thing, so you're sleeping in a tent until then. And, after you talk to people enough and they're like, okay, I know this guy, I'm comfortable with this guy, let's let him be mayor, why the fuck not? And then you can become mayor. Let's also not gloss over this, that you're a human being, and all the other characters, even if I end up calling them people mistakenly, like I'm sure I will, I believe I just did a moment ago, they're all animals. They're all fucking animals. Hence Animal Crossing. This bit of you being a human and all of them being anthropomorphic animals never explained in this game as far as I could find, so yeah, major plot hole, but it's not really what the game is about. So after you do that, you can then kind of go through a series of tutorial kind of shit to figure out how to do things, fishing, catching bugs, digging holes, planting trees, talking to people, buying shit, all that stuff. You finally get to start actually playing the game. Let's go on the reins. It's like, alright, you're in charge now, buddy. And that's when you start doing things. I mean, you can decorate your house with a variety of different items. You can buy them, you can find some, you can get them as gifts. And there's furniture, there's couches and beds and chairs and other very decorative things, that are range from all kinds of crazy shit. There's also wallpapers and carpeting to change the way rooms look. You can expand rooms and add more rooms to your house, but you have to take out loans to do that. And then you can't, do another, upgrade to your house until you pay off the loan of the previous one. And you do that by collecting the in-game currency, which, even though it looks like gold coins, they're called bells. They just look like gold coins, but they're called bells. So, okay, if you say so, you fucking say so. And you can get those by selling shit or doing certain mini games. There's a whole secret island thing you can go to eventually that has a lot of stuff for you to, a lot of ways for you to get some extra bells. And you can shake trees that sometimes drop some nice items, or other times will drop whatever fruit is hanging from them. And you can sell all that stuff, and get money, get your bells. You also use bells for things like, buying anything in any of the shops is going to require bells. You also use it for your mayorly stuff, like you can set ordinances, or which basically just determines things like, do you want your town to stay open up really late, or be open earlier? Do you want it to produce more money, or do you want it to look more beautiful? Things like that. The other thing are, and those all cost bells. The other thing are public works projects, which basically are just, sometimes they're just things simple like benches or signs or something, and other times are things like big monuments and new buildings you can build around the town. And you kind of pick where they go, so there's some customization there. And when you do that, they cost a lot, but they're public works, so every once in a while the people around town will go in and donate a few bells here and there, but don't be shy don't be shy about donating some of your own, because otherwise it's going to take a long ass fucking time to get those done. And those are largely your mayor things. You can go around town and talk to people, and form little, have conversations with them. You can send them letters and have a back and forth that way. You can hear more about them. Talking to characters more makes them more likely to, give you items and ask you for favors and invite you to certain events. Makes them less likely to leave. If you ignore them or are a dickhole to them, they'll more likely to want to move away. And if they do, then more can move in. And sometimes just growing your town by more projects and everything will eventually just bring more people in anyways. There's also a main street, which has a bunch of different shops that kind of open up, different buildings that open up along the way as you go through the game. There's things like a museum where you get a bunch of collectibles and bring them into there to display. There's some shops just to buy different kinds of items for, like specific clothes and stuff to make your character more customized. And there's a shop to buy plants for planting things, a shop that's just more of a general store. There's a place you go deal with all your housing payments and shit. There's even a club where they play live music. There's a post office, all kinds of shit there. And you need balance for a lot of the shops also. Other parts like customization as well too, just like you can customize your house, you can customize where stuff goes in your town, and you can make these custom designs on things, which can be used to, you just place them on the ground outside to make them look like something like these, basically in these tiles. You can put them on as designs for different, clothing. You can make your own town flag. You can apply it to your walls and your floor in your house. Also, for your town thing, you have the ability to set up a town flag, so you can customize your own town flag. Using this editor is kind of just pretty simple. This is a grid of stuff, so you kind of do it pixel by pixel with different colors, and you have a few tools there to help you with it a bit. And then there's making your own town tune, which is this little jingle that plays every hour. It chimes in on the bells, and every once in a while talking to people and doing stuff will trigger a kind of a slightly remixed version of your tune. So, you have some customization and influence there as well. And that's largely the game is getting bells, buying stuff, talking to people, doing stuff, finding new things, doing new things. And there's probably a ton of stuff that I never even saw in this game, never even did, that, I can't really talk about. And that's part of what's like really cool is there's so much here. I mean, they also added, I think, a lot of stuff with the Welcome Amiibo thing. Other than, not just the fact that you can use Amiibo with it now to get some cool extras. Fun thing to note about that, it also uses Amiibo cards. So you can get ththese little collectible cards to use like Amiibo if you don't want to get the actual full-fledged Amiibo for the game. And with my copy, I got a card in it. I believe it's because it was the Welcome Amiibo one. So if you get one of those and it's new, you get a card in it to use with it if you can use that. And I don't know. There's like a lot of really, really cool things that surprised me and was kind of like filled me with wonder. Like, what's going to happen next? It was cool, kind of like trying to set up my town and trying to talk to all these different people, and the interactions with them were like they all do have their own personalities. Some of them actually tell some genuinely funny jokes. Some of them tell some. There's some surprisingly deep pearls of wisdom that they share also, which surprised the hell out of me. And I mean, like, it's just kind of, cool that they feel like real and like they're alive and that they kind of live lives beyond you. For a lot of this is like that too. It's like the whole thing, you leave, you don't play it for a while, and then you come back and shit's different. Like, maybe somebody moved in or maybe somebody left in the meantime, and it's like, oh wow. And then like talk about all the stuff they did when you were gone, and they talk about, oh yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time, you missed all this stuff. Like, their lives go on without you. It's not like some other game where, like, the world is totally dependent on... It only exists while you're playing. And it's also not the kind of game that feels so much like you're creating the entire game. You create what happens. You have a lot of... you have some power, and you have a lot of influence over what happens in the world. But stuff still happens, based on, like... just based on what they do with their lives, and they do things without you. The world exists separate of you, and that's something that's a really cool experience. Plus, there's so many different things. There's no goal really either. So you can just go around and experience whatever you want, whenever you want. There's not really consequences. I mean, there's consequences in a way. It's not like you're being punished, I guess. There's no real punishments necessarily for like doing certain things or not doing certain things, because it all is just like, well, because of those things, the other stuff's going to happen and things are going to continue on based on that. And that's sort of what's good for like this kind of casual experience that this is. It's a very casual game. The kind of game where you can do stuff or not do stuff, take it at whatever pace you want, set your own goals or don't. Maybe you want to be really prosperous, or maybe you just want to hang out and check stuff out and kind of live in this little world here. It's a really interesting kind of concept, and I think it's done in a way that leaves a lot to be found and enjoyed. And some of my favorite things were like going to like the club and hearing like these live music being played. It was always like cool to get a new song there, and the credits would roll when they were doing that. It's an interesting way to show the credits when there's no real ending to the game. So, hey, I got to the credits. That means I beat it. And like then after that, like you get like a copy of it, and you can put it in like a record player or like some kind of music player in your house, and then you can listen to all the songs that you collected through that. And it's also fun to do that because it's like they all sound different. I wish they didn't just do those once a week, but whatever. Like I tried to get as many of those as I could. I also hoarded instruments for like items in my house, because then I can like tap A by them and like they'll play notes along to go with whatever's playing for the background music. I think that was a nice touch. I got like a Wii U console in there. I got a Wii U in the game, and then it had a game on it called Desert Island Escape, which was kind of like a board game almost, survival like board game, and it had its own like rules and mechanics and everything, and it was like a pretty full-fledged game in there, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. So that was great. If you find one of those, you can do that. And again, like I feel kind of bad because it almost feels like I'm spoiling it by saying some stuff that happens in there. But it's also like making my own tune. The music stuff just got to me a lot, I guess. But like there's so much stuff in the game that it's like you're gonna probably experience a whole bunch of shit that I never even saw or heard about. And like that's awesome, because then you have your own unique experiences that happen, and having these conversations with the characters and everything through the letters and all this other stuff, and like there's so much here that it definitely feels like you're not meant to reach a goal. You're kind of just meant to hang out, have a good time, and just have fun, explore the world, and try to see all there is to see, do all there is to do, and do what you enjoy with it. There's no real pressures to do anything or to not do things or whatever, and that's what's part of what makes it so unique. But like, I had some problems with it. It's really built towards a more casual crowd, which, not that I'm not casual, like I've described myself, I think, as top tier casual, and that I'm alright at games. I can oftentimes beat games. I'm just usually pretty bad at them. This felt like it was below me a bit, and like, it was fun to explore stuff and experience it and see things. But after a while, I wanted to see more stuff. I wanted to work towards these other goals, and it took forever to grind bells. It was just very tedious. I started only going on every once in a while whenever all my trees had fruit on them, so I could get all the fruit from the trees and then throw those into there and whatever, and like sell those. So I only go on like every 3 days or something for that shit. And sometimes I would just miss longer and longer until I was like, I don't really like this game anymore, It becomes a chore to talk to everyone, to try to keep them in your town and harvest all your stuff and do all the daily things and weekly things and hit all the events. And it's a very demanding game. It's the kind of game that if you don't, if you're not spending most of your time dealing with this game, you're going to feel like you're missing out on stuff, and it's going to take a lot longer to get anywhere, and you're going to be playing it for forever. And some people are fine with that. That just bothered the hell out of me. I'd like an experience I like it when it's a kind of experience that can end. And it's a different kind of experience, I understand. I just didn't really care for that aspect of it. And I don't know. It's cutesy. It can be very cute. But if you don't find it cute, and if you don't care about the characters, then a lot of the charm is going to be lost on you, and this is going to be kind of like a watered-down RPG. There's not like a lot of leveling, really, or anything to do necessarily. Sort of, in the sense that you keep, getting a better town, getting more people, getting more stuff, but there's no real end goal. There's not a good feeling of growth, and a lot of it just ends up, like I say, it basically comes down to, it's really tedious and can be demanding, and if you're planning to play other games, or have any other games that you're supposed to play daily, this kind of game starts to feel like a time suck, like it's eating up a lot of it, like it's very demanding, and it just becomes this weird obligation that's not fun anymore after a while. And that really, detracts from the replay value when you consider that, do you really want to start a new game to do all this fucking tedious shit over again? Or, like, if you're going to do that, are you going to do that anytime soon, or are you going to wait quite a while before you do it? And I don't know, it definitely can be a bit demanding and needy and everything, and I don't know, it's weird. So, Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo, I guess. It's Nintendo Selects now, so like $20 new. If you want to check out Animal Crossing, it's probably a pretty good one to start with. From what I hear, anyways, it's a handheld one, so it's more, it's easy to bring around with you and play whenever you have the time. It's got a lot of stuff in it because of the update and everything. It's a way to experience it. Like, I don't regret experiencing this, even if the cute girl that was like, hey, you should get this game, she didn't really say that. I was just like, I could get this game and I could play this game with you because you have it, and then she never played online with me, probably because I'm a fat loser. But like, even so, like, I got to experience an Animal Crossing game, and I don't really regret it. I just don't really see myself playing it again. And if you'd like to try it out and see if it's for you, yeah, not a bad one. probably, decent price for doing that kind of thing. If you're more of a casual gamer, if you're maybe a younger gamer, you might be into this. If you find it cutesy, you probably will get more enjoyment out of it from the charm of it. And I don't know. It's, if you have one, you're only going to get one game, and you're going to play that game, just that game, for a while. This is probably one of those games that's going to pay off for having that. If you have a bunch of other games you want to get to, this might not be something you want to bother looking at. Because, like I say, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's just demanding your attention. It's constantly just trying to get your attention. It's just it's needy, and it's clingy, and it's, oh my god, it's me.